All right, guys, so on this one, what we are going to be doing is we are going to write a statement, and we're going to either use slightly more than, or is a lot more, slightly less than, is a lot less. So instead of just doing greater than, less than, we actually are going to take a look and see, is it going to be a lot more bigger, or is it just going to be a little bit bigger, or a lot smaller, or a little bit smaller. And then what we're going to do is we're going to explain how we know this. So when I look at this first one, we've got 4 times 988 thousandths, and I need to figure out what is it going to be when I multiply it by 4. Or not, sorry, when I do multiply this by 4. But when I look at this number as 4. So when I look at this, I already know that this is not going to be greater than, because it's not even a whole number. So I know that it's going to be less than. And is it going to be a little bit less, or is it going to be a lot less? Well, when I look at this number is really, really, really close to that number 1. So I'm actually going to say is slightly less than. And the reason why we chose this is because, oh, I'm gonna have to get a new pencil. Sorry guys, my lead is almost out of that one. And I bet this one's is gonna do the same thing. Sorry guys. Because, and like I just said, so I'm kind of giving you guys the reasons why when we're doing this. It's because this number 988 thousandths is only slightly smaller or less, and I'm just going to use smaller so that we can see that the verbiage twice, kind of 2 different ways, but smaller or less is only slightly smaller than 1. Okay, now if it was like 188 thousandths, then it would be a lot less because it's going to be further away from that whole number. Okay, so let's look at this one. I've got 1 5/100ths times 8/10. And I want to know what it would be when I multiply it by 8/10. Well, when I look at this again, this number is really, really just close to that 1. So I'm actually going to say it is slightly, oops, I don't need to put it. So is slightly more than. And the reason is because, first of all, I know it's more because it's got that whole number. And why it's only slightly is because this is really close to that 1. And so that's, again, the same reason. It's because this number 1 5/100ths is only slightly larger than 1. Now, if this was like 1 9/10, then it would be a lot more because it's greater than, okay? So this one I've got 1,725 times, and when I look at this number, I'm multiplying it, and that scaling is only 13 thousandths. So that's really, really, really far away from 1. If you guys think about it, if I took that 3 away and rounded that 1, sorry guys, you can't see that, okay? And it's just that, that's a penny, okay? Is a penny really close to $1, or is a penny close to having nothing? Well, a penny is close to having nothing, so this number is actually going to be a lot more, oh, sorry, a lot less. I was thinking the wrong one. Is a lot less than. And the reason is because, oops, point, that's why I put that 3, is a lot smaller than 1, okay? What you have to be able to do is you have to be able to compare what your scaling factor is. Now, when I look at this one, I want to compare it to this one. So this is my scaling factor right now. Now, when I look at this, guys, sorry, this is 989. So I'm going to multiply it by 1. So if I think about this, and even if I take those decimals away, 989 times 1 is 989. It's going to be a lot more than 1 3,000, sorry. Okay, And the reason is because 989 and 1 thousandths is way bigger than that number 1 and 3 thousandths. So much bigger. So we've got to make sure that you really are kind of paying attention to this one. Now this one's going to be a little bit tricky. And because we've already used all of them, so there is going to be one that we are going to repeat. So here's my scaling factor. So wow, if I even took this, that would be like multiplying it almost by 0. And I'm multiplying this one, actually this is my scaling factor, sorry, because I want it to be this number. And I'm multiplying it not even by 1. So when I'm multiplying something that's not even by 1, it's going to be a little bit less than. I should probably keep with the same words that they want us to use. Slightly more than, sorry. Slightly less than. Okay, and the reason is because this number, my scaling factor, 911 thousandths, is slightly or a little bit smaller than 1. Okay, you guys have to be able to understand what these decimals are, what the numbers are, what they are in relation to a whole number, where they are in the whole numbers, to be able to compare these two numbers.